Welcome, ladies and gents. Today is January 25th, 2026, and 2025 was one of the worst years ever. In this video, I'm gonna basically list the reasons as of why is that, the mistakes that I've made, the lessons that I've learned, and the pivots that I'm making right now in 2026 and also moving forward. So basically, I'm just gonna start off with the first mistake that I've made. First off, 2025 was one of the worst years that I've had. Um, it was one of the most soul-crushing um, and loneliest years ever since I've moved abroad by myself almost 4 years ago. Um, I remember 2 days after my 20th birthday, I just packed my bags and yeah, just moved to a different continent. And since that day, I haven't seen my family, haven't seen my parents. The mistakes that I've made last year, maybe I've mentioned in the past video, maybe in one of the previous videos, which I was tending to offer a certain service for clients or customers, which is related to advertisement. And I was really just like I didn't want to change my mind around the service that I've had, even though I've had many problems with that service, like personally, because it requires having a functional meta ad account. So like to be able to create and operate Facebook ads. My personal Facebook profile, like the personal normal profile, was suspended from doing ads. I have no idea why, and I couldn't really figure out a way to fix it, having no money and no connections. And I've spent months and months just trying to fix it by myself. I've created multiple profiles and I just made the problem even worse. So that was the harshest lesson that I've learned in 2025, which is if you don't have any resources, figure out what you can do with what you have. So even though I prefer to like I'm building this business, I'm trying to figure this out, figure out how to make money and whatever for the past few years. And this is like this one problem I was really stubborn on, just offering advertisement for businesses. And even though I still prefer that, but I don't have enough resources to solve the problem that I have, which is a very, I would say, a unique problem starting out, because not many people start out just having their accounts just suspended and not working. It's a very technical problem, and I couldn't really figure out how to solve it, and I have no money to solve it. So I thought to myself, like for like just recently, like a couple months ago, what's the point of trying to figure this out without having resources, without having anything, and just getting to like it's just pointless, you know? So I just pivoted and I just started offering different services. I still haven't managed to close any clients yet, uh, but I pivoted. I'm now offering services that are not really related to directly to ads. Probably later on, I will reintroduce uh, the services that are related to doing advertisement, and because they're more like logically you can make more money with them because they're directly correlated with the revenue or the profit of the business that you are dealing with. Um, but yeah, I need resources to be able to solve this technical problem first, and then I can start introducing these offers and these services. You might ask, you could have just, like someone might think to themselves, you could have just asked the businesses for money and then figure it out with the money that you get, and then solve the problem and then, start offering the service. But I was afraid to, I was afraid when I take the money uh, from the client, especially like from the first client or whatever, if I take the money and then spend maybe a lot more time than I was intended to solve the problem, and it might not get solved soon enough, and that would probably get me into troubles, especially after spending the money that the client gave me that I don't really have to give back to them if they ask for it, if I, mess up or whatever. So I thought to myself, it's not worth the stress and the trouble that I could make for business owners and clients. But I want to make sure that I really do care about reputation, about my name, and about the brand that I'm building. So yeah, I don't want to deal with any sort of those problems. So basically, that was one of the biggest mistakes that I've made in 2025, which is just wasting months and months figuring this out, only to just pivot to another service, which is now um, I'm building websites and also infrastructures for local businesses, like getting them Google reviews, some doing some automations that are related to like reaching out back to their clients or whatever. So I'm building out systems for these businesses, and yeah, basically it's a much cheaper service, but it doesn't really matter. Like basically, you just have to use the resources that you have, and in my case, I can only afford $100 per month for software because I'm still working a full-time job as an apprentice, still doing my apprenticeship. That's it. I can only like maximum pay $150 per month for tools or software or whatever, and that's it. And I have my time. So I get back from work at like 4 p.m. Here in Germany time, and I can basically realistically start working directly or doing cold calls or whatever, doing like business related tasks starting from 5 p.m. until 11 p.m. every day. So I'll have my time and this minimum amount of money that I can invest every single month in tools. That's what I can work with. I can either use my time for just like working a sales job, look at the resources that you have, and determine what you can do with these resources. So in my case, I could do a sales job. I could do many different things. So to me personally, because knowing what I know now, I can directly start an agency. And it doesn't matter. Like I was really fixated on the idea of just like offering ads, but it doesn't really matter. You just have to offer a service. You can pivot later on. I'm probably gonna pivot or just layer in the ad service on top of what I'm already doing right now, and just work with that. Like I can definitely scale to multi 5 figures per month doing what I'm doing or offering the services with the services and the offers that I'm offering right now. So yeah, that was one of the biggest mistakes that I've made. Just work with the resources that you have and determine what you can do, or what's the highest output that you can get with the resources that you have. And that's basically the point. Like looking back at how I was thinking, like I just want to slap my old self in the face and just like, I've wasted so much time, guys. Like I don't want you, and this also one of the points or one of the reasons that I'm doing these videos. I don't want you to repeat the same mistakes that I've made. Next month I'll turn 24. I would say I've spent the last 3 years officially, like seriously figuring out how to make money, seriously, like online, and how to build shit, and how to basically increase my income, and learn skills and do all these things just to make money and improve generally. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that I've made. Of course, I've made other mistakes. I'm probably going to make other mistakes as well down the road, but take it from me right now. Do not waste your time trying to figure out something or trying to do something that you don't have enough or the required resources to solve or to do. I can sit here and have the perfect plan to build a $1 billion business. And the plan would sound perfect, but I don't have enough money. I don't have enough capital. I don't have enough connections, network, um, maybe enough authority or enough skills to hire and to get the required talent to build that business. So I can have the perfect plan, but I can't really execute in reality unless I have what's required. So determine what resources that you have and determine the highest output. Um, Honestly, like that comes with just guessing and just with with guessing. But the point is just start and just use what you have to to have more resources, which then you can use to make bigger things and do bigger things. So that was the biggest mistake that I've made in 2025, and also that last year was one of the loneliest years ever, and that started in basically since I've moved by myself to another country. Yeah, right now in Germany, it's been lonely since I've been here basically. So I've kind of got accustomed to that. Not many people can handle that, but when you manage to overcome this feeling of loneliness, it turns at some point it turns into solitude, and some people go down horrible roads of just like maybe abusing some stimulants, or some people just become alcoholic, and they can't really handle just being alone and being isolated. um but yeah, I've discovered a lot of things about myself last year, and even though it's been lonely, uh and it will still be lonely honestly for this season as well, for 2026. I don't know about 2027, but for this year, for sure, for the most part, it's going to be isolation and loneliness. Uh, but I've managed to just make peace with that and also see it as solitude and as the biggest leverage that I have, which is, so I'm still 23. I'm going to turn 24 soon. But at this age, knowing what I know now, um, hopefully this year I will materialize the lessons that I've learned from the mistakes and into reality, and hopefully I will make sure that this year is going to be a turning point for me. But yeah, loneliness is something that you have to deal with if you have big goals, and it's something that is inevitable unless there's some cases where some people just meet a partner, um, or someone. But in most cases, especially when you come from an environment or from a place that is very different and very far away from what you aspire to get and from where you aspire to be, um, so you're bound to isolate yourself in that case, and sort of have to go through this phase of just discovering yourself and just being alone, just figuring yourself out and figuring what you want in life. And yeah, I think I've spent enough time alone, and I'll spend some time alone as well. And I spend enough time to know what life I want to live and what the things that I want to do. So that's sort of like, it's not really a mistake, but that's sort of like something that I wanted to go over, which is just loneliness that is inevitable, and you have to go through it in order to actually recreate yourself and become sort of like experience this rebirth like experience. And I would say I've had that a couple of times, honestly, in the past few years that I've been alone. um yeah, that's just something that I wanted to go over. um the third mistake, which is documentation, and the lack of documentation that I've had in 2025. So that basically relates to everything. Relates to making money, relates to also personal goals. So for me personally, also like maybe losing weight, or maybe for you be gaining weight or whatever. So the lack of documentation, and just tracking. Um, in 2025, I gained weight, um, and I didn't read as many books as I wanted to read. Um, and I've seen the results, and the results of that basically in my body and my also knowledge. I really don't feel good when I sense a lack of knowledge and I don't really read as much as I want, or I don't really feel good in my body. Um, so yeah, the goal for this year is just to document everything religiously. Basically, I've been weighing myself every day now, first thing in the morning, before I drink, before I do anything. I've been weighing myself. I'll show you my current state or my current physique in a second. I weigh um, at the start of 2026. So today is the 25th of January. At the 1st of January, I weighed 256 pounds. I'm 6'3", by the way, almost 6'3". It's just under 6'3", if I'm not exactly 6'3". I'm not really sure. It's 190 centimeters. I weighed 256 pounds, and currently I weigh, let me check. I wrote that down. So I weighed 256 pounds at the start of this year, and currently I weigh 249. So I basically lost 7 pounds already. And the goal for 2026 by the end of the year to reach anywhere between 187 to 198 pounds, along anywhere between those numbers. And I'm on track, honestly, and I've been training as well, so I can't afford to sign up for a gym. I don't have enough. I literally don't have enough time because I'm training at home right now. I just have a few bands, and on weekends I'm now managing to go on a weekly jog, or maybe train outside. We have there's a little calisthenics park, 5 minutes away from my apartment, and yeah, I can manage to either go on a jog, or both, actually. Either go on a jog or go train at the calisthenics park on a weekly basis. And yeah, other than that, on a daily basis, I'm training at home. I'm doing some exercises with the bands in between working sessions. um, that helps me a lot, honestly. It's like kind of like a little break from work or from whatever I'm doing, and I just like, it's either I'm training my mind or training my body, so it's kind of fun, basically. So yeah, and this is basically what I'm working with right now. Yeah, it's horrible. I need to lose a lot of weight. I do have a decent muscle structure, muscle base. I just need to cut off a lot of weight to be able to see what's going on under there. But yeah, yeah, I have a few pounds to lose. Yeah, I will make sure to um to show you guys the results by the end of 2026. Yeah, that was the third mistake of 2025, which is the lack of tracking and lack of documentation. That also goes into like business stuff, not just like personal stuff. I'm also, this year I want to read, the goal for this year is to read 40 books. I also actually want to make some videos about the books that I'm reading, you know, my takeaways from the books, what I've learned from the books. For example, if, you know, when I finish reading a book, I just make a video about it, my takeaways, what I've learned, how I'm going to implement this in real life. Because for me personally, if you read a book just for the sake of reading a book, that's just entertainment. I'm not at that point yet. I need to read to improve and to implement what I'm reading in reality and in my life, basically. So I'm really excited to make videos about that. As I said, 40 books for 2026. I've already finished 4 books, I think, or 5 books up until this point. It's January 25th, so we're still in the first month. But also, side note, even though I've said 40 books, but I want to emphasize on this point. If you read a book and you think it's a really good book, like it's a gem, you found a gem, read it a second time, read it a third time, and count that as if you read another book as well. If you like really want to fulfill or like contribute that into the metric that you're tracking, because if the point is to actually benefit from the book and to extract every valuable information from the book that you're reading, it makes more sense if you read it again and we read your favorite parts again and your favorite chapters again. That makes more sense to me than just consume books for the sake of just consuming books and just like turning it into just like, you know, you're not even, you're just reading, you're not taking anything away from the book, you're not really benefiting or extracting any value from the book. So now I'm done going over the mistakes that I've made. I just want to talk more about the goals. I've already mentioned some goals that I have, but I want to talk about the goals, especially in terms of money goals that I have this year. Even though I still have like $1,500 equivalent, something around that in my bank account. I have to check right now. Maybe I'll show you. And as you can see, as of today, I actually have much less money than I thought. I haven't checked in the past week, I would say, so I only have 893 euros. I don't know how much is that in dollars, but yeah, today, January 25th, 2026. Let me just refresh real quick. As you can see, but I want to make, by the end of 2026, I want to make this public so I can have accountability, and sort of like feel this urgency and this yeah, I just want to have this urgency and agency to reach that goal, which is $20,000 per month from my business. I want to make this happen by the end of 2026. That in terms of money goals. Personal goals, as I already mentioned, there's not a lot, honestly. Just cutting down weight. I want to reach anywhere between 187 to 198 pounds. Anywhere between that range, basically. And read 40 books. And also, actually, I want to upload over over 50 YouTube videos this year. Um, yeah, I want to check back by the end of 2026 and see if I made these goals happen. But yeah, that's it. I want to make sure that I'm uploading more often. I want to share more of what's going on in my personal life as well. I want to basically document this journey as a whole. That's one of the best ways to look at your life. It's to look at your life as a movie and as a game. This whole life is basically a game for me, and I treat it as a game and I treat it as a movie. And it sounds ridiculous, but you have to treat yourself as and to see yourself as your own the hero of your own movie. I know it might sound ridiculous and absurd for some people, but and you might say, "Oh, I'm not really a main the main character or whatever." You have to treat yourself as the main character and as the hero of your own movie, and you have to. For me, I'm gonna really take that seriously, and also like document myself and document my life as a movie basically, and just show the world what's possible. Um, it's just there's like elegance to that. Honestly, there's elegance and there's a poetic aspect to it. To just look back and see, hopefully, how far I've come. To me, that's one of the best things that you can do. It's just like document everything, and especially like for maybe if you want to have kids or whatever. If they see that like that's very elegant and very poetic as well. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna document my life. I'm gonna document every aspect of my life, and the phase that I'm in right now. Even though there's not many exciting things to document, it's just the journey. I'm gonna of course share directly what's going on in my business, in my life. Also the document the tracking of my goals on the personal goals and the business goals. And yeah, um, I'm still living in Aachen. It's a small city in Germany. There's not many there's not many people to connect with in this city as well. So it's like I've sort of like on a positive side, I've put myself in the best scenario to focus on building. But on the negative side, it's just lonely. So I'm just gonna take advantage of that. Take advantage of the fact that I'm still 23 and that I have years ahead of me. Um, I just want to make the best out of it and the most out of it. And I want to take you guys with me on this journey. I want to share everything, the mistakes, the pitfalls, the wins as well, to benefit others, because that's the whole point, to just learn and to hand down uh, the knowledge or the lessons that you learn to others. And these videos is one of the ways that I can share that with others as well. So yeah, I'm still living in this apartment. It's like it's barely fit for surviving, honestly. Let me show you guys again the apartment. I still have the fridge. If you guys remember from past videos, the fridge is broken still. It's been almost, I don't know how many months. Maybe it's been over a year right now. I do have a dishwasher which is broken. It's been broken for the past almost it's yeah, for the past 2 years, more than 2 years, I would say. It's not big of a deal. I'm just yeah, washing the dishes with by hand. It's not the biggest deal, but the fridge is broken. So up until this point, since the fridge was broken. I haven't had any, like frozen food or whatever, or anything that I can put in the fridge. So yeah. Another update, if you guys remember from previous videos, I used to eat solely from I used to eat food leftovers from an app called Too Good to Go. Fortunately enough, the reason for that was I had to pay some unexpected bills that came in last year. So I had to, pay up the bills. So I had to cut off on expenses. Uh, One of the expenses was food, so I had to basically eat leftovers from bakeries. Um, so yeah, the update is I'm not doing that as often. I still do that now and then, but it's not on a daily basis, or like on a it's not on a, like on a it's not as frequent as before. So I can now barely afford other types of foods, or like um non leftovers basically. um yeah, let me show you guys what I'm dealing with right now, where I'm living. So yeah, that's what I'm working with currently. Honestly, it's so bad. It's like a basement, and I've also had some problems with mold. So I can't even bring anyone here. I feel too embarrassed to bring anyone here. So yeah, I've been living here for more than 3 years now, going for 4 years. Hopefully, I'm able to move out of this apartment when I manage to make enough money this year. Hopefully, this will be the last year me living in this apartment. And yeah, but looking back, I moved here in November 2022, and before that, I used to live in an apartment with a roommate. And as much as bad this is, at least I'm living by myself, and I have this workspace right here. But yeah, in the previous apartment, it was much worse than this. Hopefully, I'm able to afford a better apartment this year, and to move out, hopefully out of the city as well. I'll see about that. All right, now for the end of this video, I just want to leave you with this. The best time to start was yesterday, but the second best time to start is today. If you're dealing with a problem, if you're in indecision, basically, you can't really make a decision. You have to just analyze the situation or whatever problem you're dealing with, and determine if it's worth solving, or if you can actually solve it. And if not, just like the mistake that I've made, I couldn't really figure out how to fix this technical problem that I had with Facebook and or Meta. And I was just stuck for months trying to fix it myself. And I just, one day I pivoted, and I could have saved months and months of time. So please, because time is the most valuable resource that you have in your life. It's finite. You can lose money, you can make money, you can make the same money that you lost and more. You can basically, time is, I would say, I would argue time is the most valuable thing ever. If you lose it, you can't take it back. Avoid doing mistakes that cost you a lot of time as much as possible, because life will pass by, and you won't even realize it until it's too late. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. 2026 will be the turning point for me moving forward. I'm gonna document and share my journey, share the lessons, share the mistakes, the pitfalls, everything. and I want to take you guys on this journey. I hope you've also set meaningful and worthy goals for 2026. I hope you also crush this year, and I also want to see you win. I'll see you guys in the next video.